Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2. I'm out here in the garage and I just got home from the range. I was able to go film some content for some upcoming range reports. And one of them, which I want to talk about, is this cool little Beretta right here, the 21A Inox or Inox. I know a lot of people say that the stainless steel versions of the Beretta guns are the Inox. But somebody said that's short for inoxidizable. So when you see the INOX, it's actually inox. I don't know. Sometimes people will be really pedantic about it and tell me that I'm wrong. So it's one or the other, but just want to give you guys that information. But this is one of those tip-up barrel 22 long rifle. I'm going to call them a mouse gun, but some people call these like a Saturday night special. But to be very honest with you, it's not a Saturday night special. These things are really, really high quality. There's a pocket vest gun, and I think Beretta makes some of the best when it comes to 25 ACP and 22 long rifle small guns like this. And this one did not disappoint. One of my favorite guns in my collection is my Beretta 25. It's a 25 auto. It's the 950BS. In fact, it's such a good gun, I own 3 of them. And I love that gun. And I haven't shot the 21A, and I haven't shot one in 22 long rifle. So I was able to get this to the range. And by the way, this is on loan to the channel from my friend Richard. And this thing was exceptionally accurate for me for what it is. I mean, even at 20, 25 yards, the rounds were on paper, but up close, I was really impressed with the performance of this. Now, the only issues I really have with this is really going to be more the ammunition than the gun itself. The downside of 22 long rifle is that it's rimfire. So I did have some failures with the ammunition, and I was running CCI mini mags, and I tried out some other ammunition as well. When it runs, and occasionally it won't pick up a round out of the magazine. Even though I could load these to 8 rounds, I think you should only load them to 7. I think you have to kind of underload them, and they run pretty reliable. But a few times it wasn't picking up the top round off the magazine. But besides that, this gun was awesome. I can tell you it's going to get a really, really high point system or a really high score on my point system. And yeah, this is just a great gun. And hopefully when I go and review the range footage, the people at the range and their talking don't become too annoying, because there were some people there that were I guess being trained or whatever. There was a guy there, I guess, teaching his friend how to shoot. They weren't obnoxious or loud, but they were just talking the entire time. It's just not bad. I mean, it is a public range, so I can't complain. And I think when I filmed, it wasn't overbearing. You definitely hear them, I think, in the background, but hopefully once I adjust the audio and all that, it won't be too bad. But I got some good range footage on this. The other gun I shot was an integrally suppressed Ruger 2245, and my friend Jack number 2, is awesome. He's helping me and be present when I film all this stuff, because you know, to do the NFA stuff, you're gonna have somebody there that, you know, is in physical control of the item. And so I was able to film some range footage for that, and we're gonna get together, and I'll be able to film the range report here on that gun, and I just got to get the bullet point script and the range footage for that. And that was a really cool gun to shoot. I believe it had a Maxim Defense silencer on it. It has the ported barrel. It's not just a screw-on suppressor, it's one that actually goes over the barrel, and the barrel has ports to it. So that's why it's integrally suppressed and not just a typical suppressed pistol. And that thing is crazy quiet, crazy quiet. Ran a bunch of different ammo with that, and it was a very accurate pistol. And the only downside to the range footage on that one is there were other people at the range shooting unsuppressed, so it's kind of loud. And then because those guys were talking, because the guy was getting a lesson, and the gun is so quiet, I think you're going to hear a lot of talking. But it just goes with the territory of trying to film this range footage. But I'll try to edit all of that out of the audio. But we'll see. But hopefully you guys will be able to get to hear the tone and the suppression of that gun, because it was quite impressive. So I think both of these 22 caliber pistols that I reviewed today are going to get very high marks. So that will kind of be what's on the filming schedule for the next few days, is try to get all that done. So what else do I want to talk about tonight? Because I know you guys like to hear about my range trips and what I'll be reviewing. Which, by the way, I am getting a few more questions regarding when the videos come out. Because I know I show you guys a lot of guns here on the table, and I just need to reiterate that despite the fact that I released the Daniel Defense pistols videos this week, because they're kind of a hot topic gun right now, I still have a lot of my older videos that I'm going to release first before you guys get to see all the stuff that I'm filming now. In fact, some of the range reports that I'm filming now are tentatively scheduled for this summer. Yes, I have that much content. Even if I kept to 3 videos a week, I think I have videos to be released every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday all the way until the end of June. That's how many videos I'm ahead on right now. And it's a mix of older videos and a whole bunch of new stuff. I still have stuff that I filmed 2 months ago that is still in the queue to be released. But it's just because I feel like I need to get my older content out first, because some of it's a little bit dated and I don't want too much time to go by. So for example, I am going to do an unboxing video, and it's a re-upload of a Silencer Co. What is it? The Omega 45? No, it's not the Omega 45. It's the Hybrid 46. Hybrid 46 is what it is. And it's in flat dark earth, and that's a video that I filmed probably about 1.5 years ago. But of course, it got taken down off the original channel. And I know that's not the newest silencer in the world, but it's one of my favorite silencers that I own. So I'm just going to release that like unboxing video and talk about it and that kind of stuff and show off its features. So it's stuff like that I'm trying to get out before I get out all the new stuff. So I'll probably end up filming the range report on this in the next week. And then you guys will probably not get to see the video unless you're a Patreon, probably until this summer. But that's not, it's just the way it goes. I have so much content and I'm so blessed, and I want to keep it all coming, but I have to space it out a little bit. What else? Oh, another thing that I need to reiterate to people, and I think if you're watching this channel, you guys already know this, but I have to keep mentioning it, and maybe I need to do a PSA on my main channel. I got 2 comments this week asking me about where I live because they want to come visit my shop. And I hate to break the news to people, I don't have a shop. I'm not a gun store. I don't sell firearms. I don't do any of that. I'm literally just an average gun guy that films YouTube content. That's it. I'm not an FFL. I'm not in the business of firearms. I don't work in a gun store. I don't do any of that. That's not what I do. So I'm just not in the business of firearms. So people will confuse me for a gun shop here in Texas. It's about, I believe it's in a town called Paris, which is probably about 1.5 to 2 hours from where I live. And I am not 100% sure if I had the channel name before they had their shop name or vice versa, but the two are completely independent. They didn't steal anything from me. I didn't steal anything from them. I'm aware of their existence. I have no doubt they're aware of my existence, okay? But we are not affiliated with each other. So if you happen to go online and see a gun shop or look for a gun shop, like Texas Gun Vault or something, it's not me. I don't own it. I don't know who owns it. I have never been there. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. And so I just want to make that as clear as possible. I'm sure it's a reputable shop. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure the people up there do a great job. But I am not affiliated with them. I don't endorse them or condone them or anything. I don't know them. So it just happens that we have a very similar name, my YouTube channel and their shop name. And it's kind of like, if you go to like a Thai place. Like here in Frisco, where I live, we have a restaurant that I love to go to called Best Thai, and it's a Thai restaurant. But there's another restaurant a couple towns away called Best Thai, but they're actually not affiliated with each other. They just happen to have the same name. So that's kind of what the situation is. And I am doing things currently, in case you're wondering, to kind of make sure that my name is legally safe. But I in no way am, going after the Texas Gun Vault or Texas Gun Vault, the gun shop. I hope that they have a successful business and they can use the name and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to step on their toes. But I am trying to get because I kind of hinted at it. I'm in the process of getting a trademark right now on the intellectual property of the Texas Gun Vault. And as I said, it will have nothing to do with, it's just to protect me. It's all it is. So we're in the process of doing that. I've already talked to an attorney, and the paperwork is being filled out as we speak. What else? I think that's all I want to talk about when it comes to the channel and guns. I did want to talk a little bit more about politics, because I have noticed in the past couple of days that a couple of states have introduced assault weapon bans. And I know, assault weapon is not a real thing. You don't have to tell me in the comments. But I want to say something, and it's going to tick off a lot of people. But hear me out when I say this. These assault weapon bans, which is what they call them, are one of the reasons why I respect Democrats. Okay? Now, I don't like Democrats, and I think these bills are horrific. I'm against them 150%. But the one thing that I do respect about Democrats is that when they get power by one single vote, let's just say there's a legislature and there's 100 seats in the House of Representatives. If they get 51 votes, members in that House, they will be unified and they will ram through the most extreme parts of their agenda without question, without hesitation. I think it's evil, but they do it. And the reason I respect it is because I wish our side would do the same thing. In states where Republicans and ostensibly pro-gun people and politicians have power, why don't they do the same thing when it comes to pro-gun legislation? Why don't we see states do the exact opposite of these assault weapons bans and do, Second Amendment sanctuary state laws? I know a lot of people say, well, they have to play ball and this. I get it. But that's why I respect Democrats. I think it's really important that you can despise your enemy but respect them, because when they're in power, they get stuff done. It's against us. It strips us of our rights. It's absolutely horrific. But in many ways, I'm envious of them, because I wish we had politicians on our side that when they got power, they would do the same thing. Because the other side plays the game that way, our side doesn't. And this just goes to show why, and going back to a previous video that I made, that I don't vote. Because our side doesn't fight. Now, I'm not saying you don't fight or you're not passionate. I'm just saying that the politicians that we elect to represent us, that share our same values, especially when it comes to the Second Amendment, they don't fight. Do they try to repeal laws that are on the books, anti-gun? No, they don't. In fact, when a mass tragedy event happens, they'll be the first ones in line to say we have to do something. And even though what they want to do is not that egregious, it's still taking away people's rights. I mean, look, here in Texas, we have a senator named John Cornyn. And he is not very, very conservative. In fact, he was one of the bipartisan members of the Senate that helped pass the Fix Nix bill or whatever it was, or whatever it was called. And they essentially redefined the definition of what it is to be in the business of firearms. So, for example, if you happen to have a collection of firearms that you have accrued over your lifetime, and you come to a point, you're like, I got 50 firearms and I really need to sell some of these. Well, according to the new bill, that if you make a profit on those guns, so let's say you bought a 1911 back in 1985 and you bought it for $200, okay? And today that gun's worth $1,000. If you sell that gun for $1,000, by the letter of the law, you've now made a profit selling guns. You need an FFL, and if you're caught, you can go to jail because you're selling guns without a license. I know. That's what they did. They changed it from being primarily in the business of making profit and money to if you make any money at all. So I know other firearms legal YouTube channels have talked about this, but one of my senators was the author of that bill. And probably he had no idea what he was doing, okay? I'm not saying he had nefarious intentions behind it, but probably other people that wrote the bill did and knew they could change this language and get this wishy-washy Republican to go along with it. And lo and behold, we have a bipartisan bill. But I think the states that I feel really sorry for are Colorado and Minnesota. And those are the two states that look like they're opposed to pass an assault weapons ban. And the Supreme Court is not taking this stuff up. And so they're just chipping away our rights. So, you got the major players in this, the California, the Maryland, the Washington, D.C., New York, New Jersey, and so forth. But I think we're getting ready to have one, as I said, in Colorado and Minnesota. They passed one in Virginia, but I think the governor is going to veto it, Glenn Youngkin. But that doesn't mean in 2 years when you guys have a different governor, they're not just going to repass it again and get it signed into law. So that's going to add 3 states to the list. And that list grows and grows and grows. And then 5 years down the road, you'll see Nebraska do it, or you'll see Iowa do it. And then all of a sudden you'll see Georgia do it, because Georgia kind of goes purple sometimes. And all of a sudden they have a Democrat majority in their legislature. By 1 vote, they will ram it through. It will be like one of the first 10 bills that they do. Do Republicans do that? No. And that's why I no longer vote for them, because they're weak. They're weak. And I mentioned in some of my videos of why we are going to lose our gun rights in the end is because the people that we elect to represent us and stand up for us don't stand up for us. They don't. They'll come to you every election and go, well, if you vote for the other guy, they're going to take away your rights. I'm just going to, fight for them not to do that. Well, then when they get in there, they're like, I got to do something. Or they actually don't try to repeal anti-gun legislation. So it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And then the list of states that have more egregious gun control laws grow and grow and grow. We've already accepted that there's like the usual suspects. What is it? 7 or 8 states that we always deal with: California, Oregon, Washington, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Massachusetts. Those usual suspects. But then we're going to add Colorado, Minnesota, Virginia to that list, and that becomes the new norm. And then all of a sudden, the next state does it. The next state does it. The next state does it. And that's how they chip away at our rights. And because it becomes the new normal. And the Supreme Court just refuses. Even if we lose in the Supreme Court, I would be okay with that, because at least we know we fought for it. The thing that pisses me off is the Supreme Court will not take up these cases. I don't understand why, with all these appeals, they just don't step in and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. We said you can't ban guns in common use. AR-15s are in common use. We're going to put an injunction on this until we can hear it. Nope, they will not do that. They just won't do it. It's sad. It's sad. But that's what I think. So I respect our opposition. I don't like our opposition. I despise them. But I got a lot of respect for them. It kind of reminds me of the way I understand wars used to be fought. I guess in today's world, everything is so bifurcated that even if people disagree with you on a small policy issue, you hate them. Everything about them, you have to hate them. It's what we're told and taught. But, back, like in the Civil War, for example, you had people brutally killing each other on the battlefield, but they had mutual respect for each other because they knew the other side was fighting for something that they believed in. I mean, we hear stories that even before the battles, they would have contingencies of soldiers go and visit the other camp, and sometimes they would exchange everything from like mail, because you had people in the South that had family in the North and so forth, or whatever, or they would just talk. And there was like this mutual respect. They despised each other and they knew they were going to go on the battlefield to fight, but there was this mutual respect because they were warriors. No matter what you think of either side, and whether you go back to like the Napoleonic Wars or whatever, the Revolutionary War or whatever, there was always this: you despised your enemy, you fought them, but you respected them because they were warriors. And in today's world, our side isn't warriors. Republicans will not fight for us. The leaders that say they will, and we don't realize it, but over time, our rights are being chipped away and chipped away and chipped away. And you guys come to me all the time: you gotta vote for the Republican. If you don't vote for them, we're gonna lose everything. Well, they're essentially just doing what the Democrats are doing, just at a slower speed. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. So I feel sorry for Colorado and Minnesota and Virginia, because you guys are eventually going to get these assault weapons bans, and they are egregious. They ban everything. Everything is banned. And don't think for one moment that they're not going to add things to that list. Features or whatever. So it's coming. It's coming. If the Supreme Court doesn't step in and Republicans don't actually start to fight before it's too late, you guys are going to lose your rights. But I don't think that voting for Republicans is the answer anymore, because they don't fight. They don't fight. I would vote if there was a fighter. Someone that's going to get up there. If I knew people were going to get into office, and the moment they got a 1-vote majority in a state house, they're going to fight like hell to get their agenda through, I'd be like, okay, that's how we play this game. But no, we have to have supermajorities, because a third of our representatives are going to be wishy-washy and vote against the party. That's just the way it is. Look at the way Congress votes. The Democrats vote in lockstep. They vote in lockstep. The entire block, from the most liberal Democrat to the most moderate Democrat, they vote as a unified block. They are working together. You look at our party, or people on the right, or conservatives, or libertarians, or whatever, and you see this bunch of disparate factions. If they're trying to pass a bill, you're going to get 60% of the people vote for it, 30 are going to vote, I'm going to vote for the Democrat, I'm not completely happy with this, or it goes too far, or what, and we never get anything done. It's sad. It's sad. So I respect our opposition, because when they get into power, they don't waste any time. And I sure wish our side would fight like they do. I despise them. And those bills are so egregious. But you got to respect them, because they're fighters. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I'm curious what you guys think. And do any of you guys live in Colorado, Minnesota, or Virginia? And are you worried about this stuff? So let me know. And I guess that's all I want to talk about tonight. So if you guys watch to the end of this video, what is the word of the day? The word of the day. Let's see, I shot some 22s. I think I want to talk about the politics. Let's say the word of the day is going to be fighter. Fighter. Because that's what I want our politicians that are pro-gun to do. I want them to be fighters and fight for us. But I just don't see many of them actually doing that. But tell me what you guys think about my thoughts on our side and the politicians that are elected to represent us. And are you dismayed the fact that they don't fight? And do you respect the other side, because when they get in, by hook or by crook, they're going to get their agenda done Our side, they're not fighters, and that's why we lose in the end. So that's my thoughts on all this. So let me know what you think. So, as always, thanks for watching.